And welcome to the post-game Coach's Corner. I'm Coach Dick Cox, joined by Coach Barry Toney. Well, Coach Toney, blue is the color of the day. I've got the right color on here.
Yeah, you certainly do. I got the color of the month.
But I'll tell you what, we could have added black and blue as the color of the day, because this was one of the more physical games that I have seen in a while. It seems like this year is the roughest men's and women's basketball I think I've ever seen.
That's right, especially when they get in that paint, there's a lot of no calls on it.
They do. So the Duke Blue Devils, shorthanded with just a 7-man rotation due to 2 starters being out hurt, were able to come away with a 74-70 over a very good and pesky Virginia Cavalier team.
Hey, absolutely. And that's one thing Coach Shire was talking about. For a lot of people outside of the ACC that doesn't know about Virginia, Virginia had an excellent basketball team.
This was a back-and-forth game. I mean, nobody, I think Duke at one time, maybe early, had a 7-point lead because you were saying that you thought that maybe Coach Odom needed to get a timeout, but they played through it and got right back in it and were able to come back and were only down a basket, 2 points at the half.
Oh, yeah, it was anybody's game all the way down to the final few seconds.
There were so many, and I'm looking right here on the stat sheets right now, that the Virginia Cavaliers blocked 12 shots tonight. And it was times that, you know, they come at you with 2 7-footers and looking, lo and behold, here comes 2 more off the bench, and they just keep rolling at you. And Duke, without their big man playing, his tallest player was 6'9", but Boozer tonight, Cameron Boozer, struggled only 3 out of 17 from the floor, but he did finish with 13 points, 8 assists,
and 8 rebounds.
Yeah. So, you know, this was, people say this was his worst game of the year, and like you mentioned a minute ago, there's a lot of people that would like to have those stats for their worst game of the year.
Hey, absolutely, Coach. Absolutely.
Story tonight, though, was some other players, and the story the whole tournament, I think, was a young man that really stepped up for the Duke Blue Devils, and that was a guy named Nicholas, let's see if I can get it right, Hamania. Nicholas Hamania. The K is silent. Hamania there was a freshman player that had double figures the first 2 nights and then played a lot of minutes tonight. That Humania played 32 minutes tonight as a true freshman. He finished the game with 9 points. He had 6 rebounds, but he gave this team a lift. Not quite as much last year as Knoppel did, but he reminded me a lot by the way he played, and he said that there were a lot of 50-50 balls that he was able to go get tonight, and he was just one scrappy player, the kind of guy you love to have on your team.
Hey, you're right there, Coach. He's what I call a blue-collar worker, in which every team needs one of those blue-collar workers.
We knew a Booker would probably be leading the way, but this is the funny thing right here. The one that really stole the show was the smaller Booker. And I say smaller, he's only 6'4", but Caden Booker really kept Duke in the game in the first half. He scored double digits in the first half. He finished the game with 16 points. He had 4 assists. And it's kind of funny, and we laughed about that when I talked to him. 2 of the 3 close games that Duke won in the tournament, somebody forgot to block him out in the final minute, and he got a running start at the basket and got a huge putback to help win the Florida State game, and then tonight give Duke a lead late in the game.
Coach, I'd like to give kudos to that young man, too. He played the entire 40 minutes.
Yes, he did.
He didn't come out or anything. He hung right in there. That shows him the character of that kid on and off the court. He's a battler.
And his older, I won't say older brother, I don't know which one was born first because they're twins, but his taller brother expressed how proud he was that the way that Kate stepped up in the job that he did, that he knew was capable. And I asked him after the game again about that. He said he felt like that he needed to do more on offense because the offense was a little bit stale and having trouble getting going. And he said the good thing about it was, he said, by me doing what I did in the first half, he said it freed up a lot of my teammates in the second half. And that's team basketball.
You're absolutely right. Isn't it amazing, Coach? Two brothers like that get out there and play the way they do. It's unbelievable.
The Cavaliers from Virginia had two great efforts tonight, too, from Malik Thomas with 18 points and Sam Lewis with 17. But this was just a back-and-forth game. There were no easy shots in 40 minutes tonight. You had to work your living tail off to get anything you got.
Hey, you're absolutely right, Coach. You know, Duke had a 4-point victory. They were up by 2 at the half, and they gained an extra 2 in the second half, 4 points. It was something.
A big second half for the Blue Devils. Isaiah Evans stepped up. I think he only had 1 basket in the first half, and he finished the game with 20 points and was a key 4 out of 4 from the free throw line in the final minute of the game. But he did. Duke ran a set play out of a timeout late for him, and he nailed a big 3. But he ended up being 4 out of 8 from the three-point line. And again, when his shot was not falling, the 3 was not falling, I thought he did a great job of making cuts and taking it to the basket.
He did. Very well played ball game. A very competitive game. And like I said, you know, referees, they missed a lot of calls, but you know, on the other hand, they were fair, firm, consistent with it, even with the bad calls.
And this is the second straight tournament. I saw the women's tournament that I said looked like roller derby last week. Coach Toney, what are we going to call this week?
Hey, I call it basket brawl.
Basket brawl was the basic name of the game that they let them play. Let me see tonight. Total fouls called in the game. Total fouls, there were 18 that were actually called on Virginia, and there were 13 personal fouls called on Duke. But there's going to be a lot of sore players tomorrow.
And I'll tell you one other thing about the game, too, very important in regards to rebounding. The Blue Devils, they out-rebounded 4-1 to 31, but more important than that, they end up getting 20 offensive bounds against Virginia's 10 bounds, and as a result, that gave them more opportunity to put the biscuit in the basket.
The key, or my highlight of the game tonight, was when Duke took the lead and got up by either 2 or 4 with the final minute or minute and a half of the game. I haven't seen this in years, but the Duke Blue Devil, all 5 players slapped the floor and got down, and the crowd went wild. It got so loud that Virginia had to call a timeout. But I love it. They said they've been talking about that. They've been wanting to do it, but they actually got all 5 guys. And my teams used to do that. We used to love that, because when we slapped the floor, that's telling everybody on the floor, we got to get a stop this time. We got to get a stop. This is huge. No points. We got to get a stop. So the Blue Devils will be waiting. Hopefully, and it sounds like they'll be going to Greenville next week, and you and I will be over there. I told the Duke players we'll see you in Greenville next week.
That's right.
Not sure where Virginia will be going, though. But let's see. This could be a big springboard for Duke going into the tournament when they get hopefully a player or 2 back, because of the way some of these freshmen stepped up and really played some huge minutes.
That's right. And we look forward to it.
Reporting for Cox Sports Broadcasting and Lindy Sports, he's Coach Toney. I'm Coach Cox. We'll see you in Greenville next week. Good night, everybody.
Go Devils.
Weekend, beating out 2 guys makes people step up, so feel good for sure.
How great was it to see your brother have that performance, especially in the first half?
Yeah, I was tremendous. Super proud of him, obviously. Seeing how much he works, how great a player he is. Obviously, I know that. I played with him my whole life, so I'm super proud of him. I love that he stepped up for us.
How frustrating the game he builds on from here on out?
For sure, yeah. This whole weekend.
How frustrating was it in the paint tonight? It looked like you really got frustrated with the way things were going.
Yeah, man. First, you got to give props on Yes. Obviously, a great defender. First team All ACC defense. So, he made it really tough for me tonight. How to figure out the ways to help the team win. Gonna watch film, get better, and learn from him.
Whose idea was it with slapping the floor? That's an old Duke tradition that you brought at it at the right time of the game.
It was a whole team. We all came together, said we're gonna do it, get a stop. So, yeah.
Is this team as tight?
The last 3 games, somebody's forgotten to block you out at the end of the game, and you've gotten a nice putback when it was desperately needed. Just talk a little bit about what you saw on this play.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about crashing, so when we crash, we have a position to obviously put the other team in the basket so we can set up our transition defense too. And these 2 games, they happened to just not box me out, so I grabbed the rebound, I scored, and that's just really what I saw.
Caden, I don't know if you saw earlier today, but the Columbus Explorers are 5-peat FHSA state champions.
Yes, sir.
Do you have a message to your alma mater?
Man, I'm so proud of them. I was texting one of our point guards, Selo Jackson, just to go get it done. And all was good, bro. And I was obviously watching earlier because it was at 5, so we had time. So, I mean, I feel like we made a blueprint for the future teams, and they've continued to prove that each night. So it was a really special moment, and I'm going to actually call one of our coaches now. So just really special.
Early in the
I know
game,
it's silly to ask because you guys are the #1 ranked team in the country, but are you guys even more dangerous after what you did this week?
I feel like we've always been dangerous. I just think, obviously, us having to play in a different rotation, it was good for us to have this learning curve and to understand that we're still the same team, whether we have 7 or 9, and just everyone stepped up today. You know, Nick stepped up, Dominic stepped up, DH had great minutes. Like, everyone just contributed, and when we're like that, I feel like we're a really tough team to beat.
early in the game, the offense was really struggling, and it looked like you needed to step up.
You never had a chance to play 3 games in 3 days, during the season.
I'm sorry, can you repeat it again?
Yeah.
Physical it was out there. You didn't really get any. It's hard to get any good looks tonight.
Yeah, I mean, credit to Virginia. You know, they're a really good basketball team. They came to play just like us, but our coach reiterates, you know, it's our will versus their will. So I just feel like we outwit them today.
How bad did you want to get fouled at the end of the game?
Yeah, I mean, I was pleased. Like, you know, you see me jumping up and down. I was like, please, like, give me the ball. Like, I'm gonna end it. Like, just please let it find me.
How big is this for y'all to be able to win -2? That Nick, I thought, stepped up and had a tremendous tournament, and then the other boozer today steps up and has a really good game, but just some of the younger guys really stepped up and helped get you through to this point.
Yeah, I mean, it's huge for them. I think, you know, we got confidence in them. I think today helped build their confidence in themselves. But again, like, this isn't nothing new to us. We knew that they were capable of that. I mean, it's not our job to convince anybody else that they can do what we know they can do. It's just we show up and play.
First couple of shots from 3 didn't go in, but I noticed you did a good job on the back cuts and finding different ways to score when the 3 wasn't going in early. Can you talk a little bit about that? What your thoughts were?
Yeah, I mean, it's just playing basketball. You know, I know that my scout report is not letting me get a 3 off, so I just got to find other ways to score.
Thank you. Physicality, it was basically a war in the paint out there tonight.
Oh yeah, it was a war tonight. It was a men's game, you know, and we approached it that way. You know, we didn't shy away from the contact, and we crashed the boards. You know, we did everything right. I feel like we could have done some things better, but you know, we got the win. That's the most important thing, and we executed whatever we wanted, and just learning from now and moving on.
Can you talk to you were able to knock down a couple of big shots. You're primarily, everybody says you're a key defensive player, but you were able to hit a couple of big shots out there tonight too.
I feel like today I had the right approach, you know, to the game, and my shot wasn't really falling, but I was able to make a 3, and you know, my impact defensively, I think it was good, and I still think I can be way better. But you know, I work so hard every day, and I just feel like the hard work is going to pay off eventually.
Can you talk about bringing back an old Duke tradition, the key time when you need to stop slapping the floor, though? Was that something pre-planned?
I mean, I love it. You know, we're our defensive team. Defense is that's our base. You know, that's our identity. So being able to bring it back, I feel like, you know, it's awesome.
Thank you. There was not a whole lot of whistles down there in the paint tonight. Now, do you like games like that, or would you wish it had been called a little bit tighter?
No, I mean, today was definitely good. This whole tournament was good. I mean, whatever, you know, how the game goes on, say like we expect anything, you know, we go out there and do what we got to do. We're not going to expect any calls or shy away from any calls. Just go out there and try to play our best.
game like that, every possession is so important. And just talk a little bit about that. That it's no big leads or anything like that for either team.
Yeah.
Then it comes down to that you got to make every possession count.
Yeah, it just shows that two very good teams, obviously, playing their hearts out. Obviously, it was the last game of the tournament, championship big stage, and it just shows that it was whoever was going to go out there to get that win, they was going to do everything to get it.
Can you talk about some of the younger guys like Nick stepped up and I thought had a great tournament, but some of the freshmen that had to step up and play in this came through for you in a crucial times?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, obviously, I said this previous, but we're not surprised at all from none of the freshmen, to be honest. A lot of everybody's talking about Caden, but Caden, especially Nick. Even if we had to put Sebastian in there, I feel like we weren't surprised at all. I feel like everybody's on the staff, on the team for a reason, and the coach trusts everybody. And we see it in the workouts and practice all the time, and we're not surprised at all.
Slapping the floor. I was a college and high school coach for 37 years, and we used to do that too. What prompted bringing that back at a crucial time in the game tonight that actually forced Virginia to have to call a timeout? It got so loud.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, hats off to the crowd. They gave us a lot of energy, a lot of momentum, a lot of noise throughout the whole game, the whole tournament, to be honest. But just, we had a couple of stops right there, and then, Slim got the free throws, Kim got the free throws, and then, we needed some more adrenaline and some energy, and that slap of the floor just put the icing on it.
Well, good luck. And I mean, nothing came easy in there. That was just a war as far as the physical play. Do you like games like that, or would you rather see it called a little bit closer?
I mean, all games are different. You got to just kind of react to how they're being played. But, Virginia's a good, big team, physical. So we had to match that, and we had to, be tough, make winning plays.
Going into the tournament, you knew y'all were going to be shorthanded. Did you feel like you were going to be one of the guys who can make an impact like you did in this tournament?
I mean, I didn't come in with any expectations. I just came in with a mindset of however I can help my team win and whatever I can do.
Slapping the floor, that's been a Duke tradition that I have loved for years and years with that, though. But what prompted that, and is that something that y'all had discussed earlier? And what brought that up?
Yeah, we've been talking about it, but we haven't had all 5 guys do it. So it was a big point in the game. I think a minute 20 left. We knew we had to get a stop, so we was at the free throw line. We knew Slim was going to knock him down, and we just said we're slapping the floor on the way down.
And then they had to call timeout after it got so loud, though. Yeah. So that was a big play on that, too. Good luck to you.
Thank you.